Welcome back. Now, 2018 has been a year of defections for lawmakers across the country. Over 50 lawmakers have switched parties in the National Assembly alone, and this affects both the Senate and the House of Representatives. The defections are still ongoing, but the latest drama does not come from the federal legislative arm. It comes from Akwa-Ibom State in southern Nigeria. There is a growing crisis in that state, and that crisis stems from the decision of 5 state lawmakers to switch allegiance from the governing People's Democratic Party in that state to the opposition All Progressives Congress. The drama started August 9th when a former governor of the state, Godswill Akpabio, defected from the PDP to the APC. 2 House of Representatives members and 2 Akwa-Ibom State House of Assembly members also joined the former minority leader of the Senate in defecting to the APC. 3 others from the State Assembly later joined their colleagues as well in defecting. Now, unlike the federal parliament where defections have gone on without any issue, so to speak, it's not the case in Akwa-Ibom. Trouble began when a high court in Uyo essentially sacked Idongasit Itwen, one of the first batch of lawmakers to defect in the State House of Assembly. Itwen was sacked in a suit which he filed to preempt the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Onofio Luke, from declaring his seat vacant. Now, 5 days after that ruling, Luke sacked the other 4 lawmakers who defected to the APC, declaring their seats vacant. Since then, the Assembly has been hit by a crisis as the sacked lawmakers have so far refused to obey the order of the court and have even attempted to organize their own seating, which has led to several counter-accusations from the PDP and APC, including an alleged plot to impeach the state governor, Emmanuel Udom. But the real question is, should the seats of the defecting lawmakers in Akwa-Ibom State be declared vacant, especially after Akpabio and others who have defected in the National Assembly so far have actually retained their seats? Is there one law, for instance, for lawmakers in state assemblies and another law for lawmakers in the National Assembly? Joining me to discuss this and more is lawyer G.T. Ogunye. Thank you very much for coming on the program. Yes, is this a case of some lawmakers are more special or peculiar than others? Because in the National Assembly, it's defection galore, no consequence. But in the state, in the case of Akwa-Ibom, it's a different kettle of fish.
Well, what I see is that it's a function of the balance of political forces and also a function of the atmosphere of permissiveness that can undergird the behavior of a particular legislature. In the National Assembly, for example, there's been defection across the aisle.
Even the leader of the Senate.
Of the Senate. So
the leader of the House of Reps.
It's become customary, it's become habitual, it's become perpetual. And so since the leadership is also involved in that defection, so it's unlikely that the leadership will be the first authority to insist that those who will have defected or who must have defected on ground other than division in their political party should vacate their seats. So
that's stated in the Constitution.
So stated in the Constitution. So it's something that they all benefit from. But now talking about the balance of political forces, in Akwa-Ibom State, before now, Akwa-Ibom State used to be a one-party state, so to speak. Since 1999, the PDP had been the dominant party in that state. But something happened recently. A former governor of the state, who is now a notable senator, moved base, shifted base, left the PDP to the APC, and some of his loyalists left with him. We then led to the decampment of those legislators in the Akwa-Ibom State House of Assembly. But as I've said, the balance of political forces doesn't seem to support them because they are in minority. And so the majority in that legislature with the executive that obviously feels threatened have to do something. So, and that's why we've seen the kind of pronouncement that the judiciary had made and the kind of insistence that the leadership of that house had embarked upon to ensure that
so in this case, this is
lawmakers vacate
clearly
their seat.
selective application of the law.
Yes, it is instructive, however, that the Constitution does not assign the role of declaring a seat vacant to a speaker.
Oh, really?
No. The Constitution says shall vacate a seat. The authority to ensure that he shall vacate his seat, in my view, is not the head of the legislature. Yes, under the Legislative House's Powers and Privileges Act, the legislature is self-governing by its rules and procedures and its orders and regulations. They can conduct their own proceedings. But when we're talking about political representation in a democratic setting, if you look at that of recall, there must be a process, which in my view is a due process of law, a constitutional path to ensuring that a representative is recalled by the constituents. In the same vein, if the Constitution provides that a legislator shall vacate his seat, to make that legislator to vacate his seat, it is my view that you need the judiciary to make a declaration that, based on the non-compliance with the provision of the Constitution, violation of the provision of the Constitution regarding defection, that legislator should vacate his seat.
And that's not the pronouncement the court made in the case of Honorable Itwa.
Exactly. That's my view. Otherwise, you then see partisans resorting to self-help. And then you then see the kind of mayhem we see in that house being, unfold. And then the peace of that political neighborhood would then be disrupted. If actors are willing to always invite the judicial arm of government, which is like the arbiter, to come in and then declare what the law has said, and then make an order which then can be enforced, many of these problems can indeed be solved. And if that order is not complied with, then the parties concerned can ensure that by contempt proceedings.
So you mean in this case the court should come out and make an order?
That's my view. Not on its own, not so moto. The leadership of that, if you feel strongly about it, should then say, look, this is what has happened. The Constitution says that that seat shall become vacant. But the Constitution has not appointed the Speaker as the authority to enforce that seat is vacated. More so, when that Speaker seat is a seat representing his own constituency, and his own seat does not extend to the seat of the other person, right? So, because it's a very important sanction, it has implications even for those who are being represented. And it also has implication for filling that seat, for example. It has implication for the role INEC may play down the road. Because if we declare a seat vacant, for God's sake, that means that seat shall be filled somehow. That means there are going to be a by-election. So it has a lot of implications. And for me, a speaker cannot, under the rule of the thumb, just say, look, Sergeant at Arms, ensure that this person is barred from this house. It's not his father's house. It's the legislative chamber.
But it still does not make sense, too, for an aggrieved lawmaker to take the law into their hands and five of them would see.
That's why I said that across the board they are resorting to self-help. And for the 5 lawmakers, why they are doing that is, I usually resort to this Yoruba proverb. It's when you see a young lad throwing a stone, and that stone reaches atop an iroko tree, then it's not that young person that is throwing that stone. Perhaps the gomids, the gods of the land, had energized his hand to be able to throw exactly. So if 5 legislators are now doing battle with their SY colleagues or their colleagues who are in the majority, obviously backed by the executive branch of government, obviously damned by the judiciary in that state that has said, no, you want to preempt, but no, you can't do so. You will then have to wonder, who is backing
and
this
then
fight?
let's get something straight here, because I just want to be sure. So it means in this case, in the case of Honorable Idonga Itwen, the court did not say he should vacate the seat. There was no such pronouncement that he should vacate the seat. Of course, he approached the court saying that the court should, prevent the speaker from declaring his seat vacant or taking action.
The court refused his application. So it
and
was not
the speaker interpreted that.
The speaker cannot interpret. It's not the
but I'm just saying that that's essentially what the speaker did.
And that's why I'm saying that they are resorting to self-help. Somebody preempted the possibility of his seat being declared vacant. He went to court. His action failed. He could have an appellate remedy, right? He could go to the Court of Appeal and from there, to the Supreme Court or whatever. But that is not the issue here. The fact that his action failed does not give the speaker the leeway to now resort to self-help, to now resort to the rule of the thumb, to get rid of that errant legislator. That's the point I'm making. If the speaker wants to achieve that, he should go to court and institute his own action, perhaps for himself and on behalf of the entire House, to say, this is what has happened. Somebody or the party, obviously the party, the PDP, can then go and say that, look, it is the law that the ticket of a party is dual in character. It belongs to that party, but it also belongs to
the party.
That's why in an election petition, those who have local standing to file a petition, are the party and the contestants. So that being the case, the party could approach the court in Akwa-Ibom State and say, we want this seat to be declared vacant, right? But that's not the case here. And that's why I'm saying that both sides, they resorted to self-help. And pandemonium will likely ensue, when you have that kind of situation. But, and this, my worry, generally in politics in Nigeria, people don't look for the fine lines, for the fine provisions or strictures of the law. People resort to fit scoffs too often, believing that the end will justify the means. Now, how can you throw me out of the house? So you are not going to pay me salary and allowances again. We are going to die here. We will break the mace. And that Akwa-Ibom State House of Assembly, suddenly is not the first. That we saw that in River State. We saw that in Oyo State, Ladoja, and Ladoja. We've seen that in numbers. We saw one in Ondo State recently, where NURTW henchmen, reportedly invaded the house and started beating up people, including destroying television camera, and policemen paid with taxpayers' money were just looking at the show. Somebody could have been killed in the process. So it happens everywhere. And so I think the politicians should take the view that there is life after power. And this is no naivety. I know everything about real politics. I know, the concept of power, including power in its raw form. I know all that in its crudest form. I know all that. But I'm saying that in the final analysis, I wish we could have people who are more philosophical about power, who understand its transience, who understand that power is best used as a tool for serving the people, who understand that, man is not going to live here forever. If they are more philosophical about power, I think that they'll be willing to give up. They'll be willing not to kill people. Because I keep saying it, I don't want to be a president of a country and kill people to be a president or a governor. Why should I want to? I'm fulfilled. So, but this desperation that we see this inclination to kill a fellow human being to get to power, to destroy institutions, to do anything and everything to get to power, access power, or retain it, is the mindset of an armed robber. Is the mindset of somebody who is not interested in service, who just believes that, well, I have to capture the state to achieve self-aggrandizement. It's primitive accumulation mentality or orientation. You don't kill and you don't want to get killed just because you want to serve. That's the point I'm making. So if they're able to inculcate that orientation and accept that philosophy, maybe our society will be better.
It's we just have to wait and see how it all unfolds. But yeah. I mean, and sometimes I just wonder if the situation had been reversed in the National Assembly. Let's say if a particular party, maybe the opposition party, had been the dominant force. If there was a dominant force in the National Assembly, probably some seats too would have been declared vacant.
Exactly. More so if the chieftains of the National Assembly are also not, at the center of that defection, whatever, yes, and all that. Exactly. It's something like that. And even if we were to go back in time, in the Third Republic, Western regional crisis and all that, started from the parliament. A premier, obviously had lost confidence, and the governor collected signatures of the members who are in the majority as permitted by the constitution, Western regional constitution, and said, you have to leave. And said, no, I won't leave unless there is a vote on the floor. Of course, he knew that if there was going to be a vote on the floor, there will be mayhem and fracas. And then the federal government,
would come
led by an adversary, seized on that situation and declared a state of emergency in the West. And one event led to the other until we got to 1966 when the military took over. It's always been like that. People fighting on the floor just because of power. And even to remove a speaker is usually the problem. To remove a speaker, the Constitution says that you need 2/3. And
clearly stated.
It's clearly stated. You need a simple majority to elect him, but you need a 2/3 to remove him. But what do we see everywhere? It happened in Plateau State during the
It happened in
another. So it's I don't know, and I know that we're not going to import people from heaven or angels from heaven to come and dominate our political space. I think that what our people need to do, I'm serious about this, what our people need to do is that they just need to wake up one day and say that we're tired of this. And perhaps they can dare to clean the audience table. I don't think that the civil actors, I shudder to call them democratic actors because most of them are not democratic in their conduct and in their character, even in their beliefs. They don't believe in democracy. These civil actors, for too long, have been giving democracy or civil rule a bad name in order to destroy it. But for the fact that Nigerians, are tired of the military, they've done enough since 1999, and I'm serious. They've done enough since 1999 to destroy civil rule and possibly to bring back military rule. They've done all those. There's nothing that they've not done more egregious than what they did in the First Republic, what they did in the Second Republic. There's nothing they've not done. But I think that Nigerians, who saw what the military did in their time, how they were killing people on the street and all that. I mean, Abacha in Ikeja here, ensured that Kudrat Abiola was murdered on the street. Nobody thought that could happen. The Legiwa was, pass bomb in this country, in 1986. So those Nigerians who remember that,
would definitely.
Even if young people are now saying that we need the revolution, we need military, don't go there. You don't know what you're talking about. I think that it is the resolve of those people that, are prevented subverters of civil rule. And I won't talk about military apologies or whatever, just subverters generally of military rule, that has kept them at bay. That resolve is our lock, our mainstay in this country as far as the survival of civil rule is concerned.
And maybe we shouldn't push that luck too far.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, sir, for coming on the program and for sharing your thoughts with us. Well, that's how much we can take on the program this week. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to see the program again, it's just simple. Go to our website, www.tv360nigeria.com. You'll find this program and lots more there. And you can also follow us on our various social media platforms. Well, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again next week. I am Deji. Bye-bye.